Hey everybody, today we're going to be talking about tables and graphs. My name is Sharif Ismail, and I'm an English language fellow here at Erdonet Institute of Technology. Today we're going to be looking at these terms. We're going to be looking at bar graph, line graph, scatter plot graph. We're going to also be talking about the independent variable versus dependent variables. We're going to also look at the difference between vertical and horizontal. Let's look at these two pictures here, and I want you to tell me which axis is the horizontal and which one is the vertical here in this picture. Which one is the horizontal, which one is the vertical? We know that horizontal looks like this and vertical looks like this. So we know that the x-axis is the horizontal axis, while the y-axis is the vertical one. These are called coordinates. Coordinates. Okay. Also, we're going to be talking about the difference between dependent and independent. If you think about the meaning of each word, you could tell the difference. Dependent variable means it depends on another variable. So it changes based on another variable. Independent means it's not affected by any other variables. Okay. So here we have an example. The independent variable is what you add to the plant. Okay. It's independent, it's not affected by anything. But as a matter of fact, it affects something else. Okay. So this is an independent variable, but this is the plant itself is dependent variable, dependent. So based on what you're going to water the plant with, the plant is going to change. Okay. So if you water this plant with little water, the plant is not going to grow as fast. If you water it with Pepsi or juice or water, it's going to grow differently. So again, the plant is dependent, and whatever you add to the plant is the independent. Another way to think about this is also that dependent is the variable that receives, and independent is the one that gives, right? Here we have another comparison between independent and dependent. The independent variable is the cause. It can be manipulated. Manipulated means it can be changed. Like, for example, you can change from Coke to juice to water, whatever you want to add to the plant. So it can be manipulated. And it's on the x axis. Is it? Well, not here. Here, yeah, it's on the x axis right here, right? So the independent is always on the x axis. The dependent is the effect. It's always measured, and it's on the y-axis. And here's an example of the dependent, which is the plant. So now we know the difference between independent and dependent variable. That the independent, it's always independent. It doesn't depend on any other factors or variables, while the dependent always depends on the independent variable, right? And we know that the dependent variable is on the y-axis while the independent is on the x-axis. Let's look at a bar graph. Why is it called bar graph? Because we have a lot of bars here. The bars always represent data, okay? So for example, here we have months, and here we have units of engines produced. Okay, we can see that February is the month that had the most units produced, while March has the least units produced, right? So again, this is called the A bar graph. And I want to ask you here, which one is the independent variable and which one is the dependent variable? Huh? Which one is independent and which one is dependent? This is the independent and this is the dependent. Here we have a line graph. Line graph. Why is it called line graph? Because it has lines. Lines are used to represent data. Okay. And I want you to tell me which month has the most units produced. It's February. And March is the month that had the least amount of units produced. Scatter plot. Scatter plot is a type of graph that has scattered. Scattered means like it's everywhere, right? And this type of graph is used to represent data at different situations. We'll learn about this later. Here I have a quick quiz for you, and I want you to pause the video and answer these questions. I'm going to go ahead and read the questions for you, and then you can go ahead and pause and answer the questions. What type of graph uses bars to represent data, values, and compare categories? Is it the line graph, scatter plot, bar graph, independent variable? Two, which term is used to describe the variable that is manipulated or changed in an experiment to see its effect on the dependent variable? Is it the line graph? Is it the dependent variable, independent variable, or is it the scatter plot? Three, what type of graph shows a continuous line connecting data points to display trends and changes over time? Is it the vertical, horizontal, line graph, scatter plot? Four, in a scatter plot, what do the individual data points represent? Independent variable, dependent variable, vertical data relationships. Five, which term describes the variable that is observed and measured in an experiment to see how it responds to changes in the independent variable? Is it the scatter plot, dependent variable, bar graph, line graph? Go ahead and pause the video and answer the questions. Okay, so now you pause the video, you answer the questions. Let's check your answers. Here are the answers. Number one, it's the bar graph. Number two, it's the independent variable. Number three, the line graph. Number four, data relationship. Five, dependent variable. Six, it's the bar graph. And seven, it's horizontal graph. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video.